No one will have to lift a finger. My father can pay for it all. He owns Crosswire Motors. Don't walk, run to Crosswire Motors.
This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe and help get this video to 4,000 likes.
And I say, hey!
The episode opens with Muffy being sworn in as president in the far-off future year of 2017.
As your president, ask not what I can do for you, rather what you can do for me.
The prissy POTUS is sworn in by Chief Justice Stephen Crowder. No, seriously, Stephen the Louder Chowder Crowder was the voice of Brain on Arthur. The only way this could be any worse is if they made Binky the head of the Secret Service.
Look, an order's an order.
Oh, good lord. Muffy is in the middle of her inaugural address when Arthur tries to storm the Capitol. She coldly snaps her fingers and has the aloof Aardvark shipped off to Guantanamo Bay. Turns out Muffy is still bitter about what happened during their third grade class election.
Don't ever mention that election to me again.
She really takes things way too seriously.
You're just figuring this out now? We then cut back to the present day, where Arthur still sounds like a 30-year-old man.
I think it's pretty interesting.
Mr. Ratburn announces the class will be hosting a mock presidential election. Francine says she wants to be class president, probably so she can legalize tormenting four-eyed losers with geeky grandma sweaters. Muffy uses her serpent tongue to convince Francine to manage her campaign instead. Binky insists voting is a waste of time, while Buster suggests Arthur should run against Muffy. Arthur starts to like the idea until Muffy laughs in his face.
You're joking, right?
What's so funny?
The next day, Muffy nominates herself for class president. What a surprise. Buster nominates Arthur, and we see the whole class is on his side for once. Where the hell was all this fanfare when he was getting bullied by Francine? Arthur tepidly accepts the nomination, while Muffy gives him a stink eye so stinky he can smell it from across the room. At lunchtime, Arthur meets with his campaign crew to plan his debate strategy. Buster says he should try to win over the crowd with jokes, while the Brain insists on a more organized approach.
Political campaigns are staffed by professionals and well-financed.
I'm pretty sure most presidential campaigns are either staffed by professionals or well-financed. Meanwhile, Muffy devotes her efforts to coming up with a catchy campaign slogan, such as Privileged Princess for President or Muff Said. She tells Francine to investigate Lakewood Elementary's hot-button issues, like the status of Pizza Friday and whether or not Tiffany likes Michael. Those were the hot-button issues at my school. In class, Ratburn helps the kids prep for the debate.
The campaign and the debate should not be about personalities.
Since when? He talks about all the great presidents of the past, like Thomas Jefferson, because we all know how great Thomas Jefferson was. Just ask his kids. Ratburn also mentions Herbert Hoover's promise of a chicken in every pot, which is something Hoover never actually said, and Roosevelt's philosophy of speaking softly while swinging a big stick, which is a phrase he used, though I think stick was a typo. After school, Arthur asks Francine to the sugar bowl when Muffy drags her away and scolds her for consorting with the enemy. Muffy punishes Francine by banning her from the rest of the episode. Back at home, Arthur and Buster are coming up with jokes for his campaign speech.
What did one eye say to the other? Don't look now, but between us something smells.
I'm sure they'll be fine as long as they don't mention Puerto Rico. Just then, the dimwit of democracy barges in and starts poking holes in Arthur's campaign.
So, if you were president, what would you change in school?
I don't know yet.
Boy, you're in trouble.
Damn it, DW, stop being right. DW says her brother would get more votes if he dressed like her, and I don't need that image in my brain. The next day, Arthur finds Muffy has canvassed the whole damn school with her crappy campaign posters, which is pretty dumb since the election is only for their class.
It's the cafeteria, silly.
Not sure why you thought paraphrasing Bill Clinton would be good for your campaign. Muffy is handing out buttons to everyone in class and tries to intimidate Arthur with her backhanded compliments.
I'm really looking forward to having a debate in front of everyone.
Geez, for a girl from Pennsylvania, she sure knows how to be Midwest nice. Arthur buckles down on his campaign and gets everyone to help make posters. Even DW chips in, though she can't spell says for shit. Arthur is getting into the swing state of things when we see Muffy has doubled down on her Clinton cosplay. She tries to bribe the class with store-bought muffins while simultaneously slandering Arthur's good name.
Do we want pooper scoopers in our school? He'll bring his dog to school and it'll make a huge mess.
Oh, you want to talk about dogs, bitch? How about the one you got running your campaign? Arthur tries to call her out on her crap, but Muffy says it's all part of the game of politics. Even Mr. Ratburn isn't above a little baked goods bribery.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
It's time for the debate, and the brain makes himself the moderator since he's always asking people to change his mind. Arthur lays out his teamwork-based strategy for cleaning up the school and raising money for the library, while Muffy brags she'll use her daddy's money to turn the playground into a theme park and the cafeteria into a food court. She even works in a plug for Crosswire Motors, which would be clever if any of her classmates were old enough to drive. Mr. Ratburn ends the debate after 2 questions and tells the class to prepare for tomorrow's vote. Binky says he's not voting at all, as he claims both candidates are equally horrible. He goes on a rant about what he'd do if he was president, like banning homework and letting kids eat snacks in class.
And you can be absent once a week.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
Fuck it, he's got my vote. Ratburn speaks with Arthur and Muffy after class about adding Binky to the ballot. Don't you think Binky should be a part of this discussion? Arthur has no qualms about letting Binky run, while Muffy releases her Marjorie Taylor green-eyed monster.
I spent a lot on this campaign, and I'm not going to let some big buffoon bully his way into this election.
Damn, maybe she really is Hillary Clinton. Ratburn adds Binky to the ballot, and Muffy chews out Arthur for not taking her side. The next day, the students cast their ballots, but not before Muffy again tries to buy their votes with pastries.
Vote Muffy, eat muffins.
Have you considered blowing them out your ass? Surprise, surprise, Binky wins the class election by a landslide, and the big orange idiot fails to realize he doesn't actually have any power.
Remember, this was a mock election.
But I'm still in charge, right?
Let's review the meaning of the word mock.
Arthur is happy for Binky, while Muffy proves to be the sorest of losers and swears vengeance against Arthur.
And I won't forget this, ever.
And she clearly meant it, which just proves that no matter who you vote for, it's important to get out to the polls and make your voice heard with your ballot. Let's review. Muffy insisted on running for class president to feed her incessant need to win at everything. She ran on a campaign of muffins and misinformation and made a bunch of hollow promises to win over her classmates. When Arthur agreed to run against her, Muffy sought to slander his reputation and tried to buy her way into being president with her father's money. She then proceeded to lose her mind when Binky entered the race as a dark horse candidate and was somehow surprised when he beat her. And even though it was just a mock election with no actual stakes, Muffy still blamed Arthur for her defeat. Though let's be honest, she would have lost even if she was running unopposed. Also, F you DW for trying to psych out your brother during his campaign and ruining his posters with your shoddy spelling. And of course, for running one of the worst campaigns in history and being a sore loser, F you Muffy.
And I say,
Hey, I have a Patreon. Sign up at patreon.com/mattneff to get your name in the thank you credits, along with early access to every FUDW and the chance to vote for future episodes. If there's a movie or show you'd like me to talk about, top-tier patrons can commission a review for my channel. Check out the link in the description to become an FUDW superfan. Also, I'm now on Cameo, so make sure to check out my profile to get a personalized FU video. Coming up next.
Goodbye, you lose.
But if you don't, goodbye, you lose.
and I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If we can learn to work and play and get along with each other.